Agents of Mayhem, who you gonna call? Agents of Mayhem, who you gonna call? Agents of Mayhem. 1, 2,
Yo, it's the Agents of Mayhem. Read the hard way, that's a franchise. No, it doesn't got the Legion running for their lives.
Let's take you back to 2017. A young AJ's going, oh my god, a new Saints Row game, Saints Row Agents of Mayhem. Now, we all know that's not true. But I'm here like, yes, Agents of Mayhem. I get the game, and it breaks within 30 minutes and I can never play it again. I was a little bit upset, because I spent like, I think it's $60 in America. I spent like $60 on it, okay? And I was pretty pissed. But it's Black Friday. I log on to Xbox, what do I see? Agents of Mayhem for $3? Fuck yeah, dude, let's go! So, I'm going to be going into this game fully open-minded. I'm going to be taking a look at things like the engine, the NPCs, the overall gameplay, the map, the driving, the graphics, literally everything. And I want to just discuss my overall thoughts on the game in 2021, as it's been a while since the game's out, and it was the first time I've ever actually been able to play through the game. So, let's hope the game doesn't break, and get into it. So when I talk about gameplay, I'm going to be talking about movement, the overall flow of the game, the combat, and the pacing, and just how the game actually feels mechanically. So just how the game plays, basically. And to be honest, whether it's in missions or in free roam, the gameplay is the strongest part. I would be lying if I said that the gameplay was bad, because quite honestly, it's great. It gives me a bit of hope, actually. Because, as we know, the new Saints Row is going to be running on an Agents of Mayhem engine adapted for Saints Row. And this is pretty good. I actually like it. It makes me quite happy to see Agents of Mayhem, a brand new IP that was super underdeveloped and stuff, still have such a strong and fun gameplay factor. It's definitely the highlight of the game, in my opinion. All combat feels fun and fluid. You never feel stiff. Now, I will just say I'm a bit of a noob to Agents of Mayhem, so my combat may look a bit bad. But it doesn't feel any worse than Saints Row, shall I say. So, it's up there at a higher tier of gameplay when it comes to open world games. My combat may look stiff, though, like I said, because I'm a bit of a noob. But the game's good. Honestly, the gameplay's really good. And quite honestly, it annoys me it took me this long to be able to play the game. And it's quite annoying, because this game might have actually been a big blast when the game came out. But yeah, driving feels really nice and fluid, and the overall feel of the game's good. I actually prefer driving in this game than I do in most Saints Rows, because the nitrous is just significantly better. The nitrous is so much better in this game than other games. I do have to say, the way they handle nitrous is great. The way they do the, jumping as well is a much better system than Saints Row 4. You can actually control combat whilst mid-air and stuff, and I do think, it adds to the overall feel of the game. It's kind of, if I had to compare it to Saints Row, because I know that's what a lot of my viewers are, Saints Row fans here. If I had to compare it to Saints Row, it would be a mix of Saints Row 4 and Saints Row 3. But imagine Saints Row 4 without the space jumps and stuff, but like a really fluid Saints Row 4. But although, to be honest, Agents of Mayhem's basically its own thing. It really doesn't feel like Saints Row. It's just a third-person game at that point. But if you didn't like Saints Row 4, and Saints Row 4 really wasn't for you, but you liked the idea of having a more futuristic-ish game, a bit more of the fun factor of Saints Row 4, just without the superpowers, this game's gameplay is top tier, and I actually recommend it to anyone out there who liked everything about Saints Row 4 but the superpowers. This game's a blast gameplay-wise, and I have to say, I'm quite impressed by Agents of Mayhem's gameplay. Now, one thing I actually was about to miss out on here, but I 100% remembered it just as I was about to move on, is there are boss fights. I know that's kind of weird, but if you remember in Saints Row 2, one of the best things about fighting the lieutenants of the other gangs were the boss fights. They were really unique, and this game has some really cool ones. You'll actually be able to see one on screen now as the gameplay for the background footage. But here's a legitimate boss fight in a new IP, and I think that's something we really needed in Saints Row for a while, and I do think it will be coming back in the new one, by the way. I've seen a couple of screenshots that lead me to believe that. But yeah, this is amazing. They had boss fights, and I think that's something we definitely missed. As you can tell, I'm pretty positive about the gameplay. The gameplay is definitely the strongest part, and it's definitely the part I'm happiest about with this game. So, let's continue. When it comes to the map, I'm going to say a very bold statement, and I want you to at least hear me out before you all get mad at me. Seoul is better than Steelport. I know, people love Steelport from Saints Row 3 and 4, but this map is just better. The streets are more fun to drive around, there's more places of interest, the whole flow of the map feels really nice. And quite honestly, Steelport is boring and Seoul is the exact opposite. But don't get me wrong, you gotta understand Agents of Mayhem isn't Saints Row, so it is lacking key things that Saints Row has, even Steelport has. For example, the NPCs, they're dull and boring. They just are, they're awful, quite frankly. They're definitely the worst if we were to include this with Saints Row. It would be like nowhere near the same level. No Saints Row has come close to having this boring NPCs. Like, the NPCs are purely cardboard cutouts and literally there just to make the city feel at least somewhat alive. Otherwise, they'd have probably made it empty, to be honest. There is no need for them in-game, and they don't do anything interesting besides walk around and talk to each other. They're pretty boring, in other words. But with how Agents of Mayhem is, without it being like a sandbox game, really, it's more of like a combat game, if that makes any sense at all. I know. It's not a game you go around to try and have like fun and mess around in, really. It's more of a game where you just go around like doing the missions, doing some combat stuff, and that's kind of what I'm trying to say here. It's not a Saints Row game, so it is lacking Saints Row features when it comes to the map, but the overall design, the layout, the graphics of the map, oh my god. If the new Saints Row can come even close to having a design like this, I'd be so happy. I mean, it is futuristic, so that's not for everyone, but when I'm talking about the Saints Row, I'm more just on about like the layout. If they have a layout like this map, oh my god. It's amazing. And of course you can traverse all the rooftops with all the triple jump and stuff, so it's fully explorable. You can go to the highest points of the map, you can go just anywhere really, and the map is really good. Now, it is on the small side, I'm not denying that, but it's not something I noticed. I didn't play the game and think, man, this map is small. It's not something that really came to my mind, so I don't think it's really worth bringing up, but it is on a smaller side compared to the Saints Row games. But, you know, it's great. It is a really good map, and I think it fits what Agents of Mayhem is trying to do perfectly. So, the problem with Saints Row 3 and 4 for me were, once you beat the story, there's nothing to do. Now, I'm not going to lie with you guys, I haven't beat the story for Agents of Mayhem, but I watched some videos on Agents of Mayhem to try and get a bit of a insight to how the game is after you beat the story. And I watched Flippy's video, and Flippy says that after you beat the game, there is a lot to do. I can't confirm this, nor can I deny this, I don't know. But Flippy did show off some cool stuff, and it does seem like there's at least a decent bit of like stuff you can do after the game. Now, like I said, I can't say this is true, I can't say this is false. But if it does have this, this is a great thing, but I don't really think it's too much to talk about, because what can I say about it? However, what I can say is what I've experienced so far with side content. Now, the missions are clearly the main focus, okay, but there is so much shit to do on the side. If you're like you could drive around Agents of Mayhem just doing activities and like not play the game and just have a blast. Like, it's very much like it's what Saints Row 2 had, where you could just go around doing stuff and it was fun, whereas I feel like Saints Row 3 and 4 kind of lost this whole thing, really. So, there's lots of, like, Legion patrols, those, like, weird cars that you're supposed to destroy. I don't know the name, sorry. You can hack things, you can save people. It's really weird, but, like, it's really good at the same time. It gives you stuff to do, and it makes the city not feel as bland as it kind of is, because the city is bland, like, NPC-wise, but there is a lot of stuff to do which makes it feel a lot more alive than it would normally, and I think it's where Saints Row falters. I think no Saints Row has matched the level of side content. Open world, I mean. Of course we have activities and stuff, but I'm talking just like shit you can randomly come across. It's like gang operations from Saints Row 3 and 4, but so much better. It's really good, in other words. There's a lot of side stuff to do, and there's a lot of shit to do, which is why I labelled the section what I did. Alright, first things first. Bugs. They're not a huge problem. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. The game had its patches, and now is in a way better state than it was originally, and the game is fully playable, and I can recommend the game in its current state. But they are very much there every now and then, and they do kind of annoy me. It is by far probably the glitchiest Volition game I've ever played. It definitely has the most problems, if that makes any sense. But at the same time, that's not saying anything really, because most Volition games aren't too bad. I mean, sure, every game has its bugs, but unless you're intentionally looking for those bugs, usually the games aren't too bad. And Agents of Mayhem is the worst, by far. because the amount of times I have gone into some sort of lair or underground like hideout shit, whatever the fuck it's called, yeah, and some guy will be spawned inside of a wall, it's annoying. However, with a bit of a fucking maneuver using some explosives or some shit, I can kill them. It's not that big of a deal, and I am yet to have a glitch that is game breaking. One small bug I have encountered, however, is sometimes when I'm in a loading screen, the game will just keep loading and loading and loading and loading, and not actually load anything. I'll just be stuck on those like weird blobs loading, and it's pretty annoying. But I just restart my game and continue. They're there, in other words. However, they're not game breaking, and quite frankly, the game's in a good state. I'd still recommend it on the bugs level, at least, you know, in that aspect. If the new Saints Row came out and it was just as buggy, I wouldn't have a problem, is what I'm saying. But I do think you just need to be aware that the bugs are there. This is the strongest part of the game. I'm just going to say that outright. The gameplay's great, the map is great, and they're all really good strong points. But I think that when it comes down to it, the fundamentally strongest point about the game are the characters. They are so unique, so interesting, and all play in a different way that every single one is usable, fun, and a new experience. You have some classics like Gat coming back, and then you have new cool characters like Hollywood. I can't stress enough that these characters are insanely good, and quite frankly, if they were in the reboot, I wouldn't care. It'd be quite cool, actually. I mean, low-key, this cast is kind of cooler than the reboot characters, but shh. I'm gonna just say that, okay? Hollywood's really cool, and the other two people are really cool. They're all really cool, and there's tons of characters to choose from, and although customization is not really in this game, I mean, it is to certain degrees. You can change outfits and stuff, but it's not like, you can't make your own character. But you can make the characters, you know, slightly detailed to the way you want. Like, I have my Hollywood looking like Iron Man, because I have, like, the pack, because I got it with the game. And it's really fun. The characters are good, and I genuinely do stand by them being the strongest point of the game. And if you want to just play a game with charisma, charm, and just fun gameplay, this is a pretty good game, low-key. Well, like I said, I haven't beat Agents of Mayhem, so I can't really give a full-on recommendation. But from what I've played, I've actually been having a blast. I'm going to be using this game to hold me over till the reboot, as this is a new Volition project for me, and it's something I'm yet to play. If you haven't played Agents of Mayhem, and you want something that gives you a similar experience to Saints Row, but is different enough that it's its own thing, kind of like the reboot's going to be, buy this game. On Xbox right now, it was £2 for me, which is like $4. It's nothing, and with that $4 bundle, you get all of the DLC, all the characters, and it's a really worthwhile deal. I would not recommend paying more than like $15 to $20 for this game at all. But if you can snag it for anywhere under $10, you got yourself a good deal. And if you can get it from anywhere from 10 to 20, it's still a decent deal, and I think you'll have a blast with the game. Don't pay above that. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. But this game, it's pretty good. I've been having a very fun time with it. And like I said, I'm going to be personally using this to hold me over with something new and fresh to play from Volition until the reboot's out. I was pretty mad that I didn't get to experience Agents of Mayhem, but at the start of this review. Now it's coming to an end, I'm kind of glad, because I've got quite a wait till August until I can play the new Saints Row. At least I got something to do. I mean, I'm sure it won't last that long. I'm sure that within like a couple of weeks I'll be bored of it. But it's something new and fresh, and you know, it's something that I can just enjoy. And it's nice to have a Volition project I haven't played yet for me to enjoy, especially as there's no games coming out relatively soon that I'm too interested in. This is nice, and I'm going to have a blast playing it, and I'll be sure to keep you updated with little segments in my videos about how I am with Agents of Mayhem. But it does get a recommendation from me, Agents of Mayhem. I don't hate you anymore. I actually quite like you. My original video talking about me hating Agents of Mayhem was more due to the fact it was too buggy that I couldn't play it. But now that I've played it and I've had to buy it again, it's a worthwhile buy. At least for me, I've had a blast, and I'm going to continue to have a blast until it runs out of fun for me. A quick channel update. I've been gone a little while, as you can all see. Not a very long time, but quite long by my standards of me usually daily uploading. This will become a new regular thing. I want to spend more time on my videos and making them unique, and not just pumping out content to pump out content. So if you enjoyed longer videos like this, where I have in-depth videos, kind of like I used to with the Saints Row 2021 series, you're in luck. See you soon, guys. I love you. Thank you.
Stay in school. It's where the chicks are.
Agents of Mayhem!